So normally when people taste olive oil in competitions, or for example in Italy, the police, when they are tasting olive oil, they will use blue cups because they don't want to be influenced by the colour. Okay. It's quite complicated using blue cups because it's quite difficult to warm up the cup because it's got a thick bottom. Okay. So what I use, because it's easy and cheap and it's nice to see the colour, is white cups. So the first thing you need to do is warm it up, and you warm it up by rubbing it against your other hand. But before you do that, you need to smell your left hand, because you use your left hand like a cover to keep the smell in the cup. So it has to be neutral smelling, okay? So you put it on top of the cup, you rub against the other hand, and do a little bit of this maybe, like with a wine glass, until the smell develops in the cup. Then you get your nose in fast. Here in Italy and in most of the world, people like to have olive oil made of fresh olives, which are picked and milled within hours. I'm going to taste and show you how to taste it, and then show you what a head looks like split in half, so you can see which parts of your head are getting aroma. So you take a little bit in your mouth, you cover the inside of your mouth with olive oil, and then you make stew. So what I'm doing is sending molecules of oil to the back of my throat, and then you breathe out of your nose and you create a through draft. And in this way you get all the aromas from the oil. If you don't do this, you just get a little bit of smell through your nose by sniffing. But doing this retronasal activity, which in Italian is called strippaggio, gives you all the aroma that the oil has. And this oil has the most incredible full fruity tomato quality, which is great on fish, it's great on mozzarella, it's great in a salad. Another oil from Vaquier, this region, which is made of a single variety of olive, which is a small olive, not a big fruity olive, but a small olive specifically for olive oil, and it's called Caninese. The one before, this one here, is called Itrana, and it's written very clearly on the bottle, which is a very important thing. We need to understand about different varieties. This variety, Caninese, which is a beautiful green, dark green colour, has a completely different character. It needs to be warmed up a bit more. It's going to smell of artichoke, and in the mouth it's going to be bitter and pungent, which is also an indication of high levels of polyphenols, which are really good. Wonderful, fresh, green smell. There's no tomato here. This is about greenness and something kind of tingly and very, very fresh. It is so fresh that it's almost minty. And this is fantastic on beans, cannellini beans, lentils, on a steak. Food with a lot of flavour is transformed into something spectacular by this kind of oil. So that's basically the two ends of the spectrum. One thing you must always remember when you're tasting oil is to look out for these. These are the defects. If you have any one of these defects in an olive oil, it cannot be called extra virgin. Okay? So there are all sorts of things here. Some of them are actually quite funny. One of them is muddy sediment. This means that at the bottom of the tank where the oil is kept, there's a kind of thick, muddy sediment which ferments with the oil and ends up making the oil smell and taste disgusting. And the descriptors on this defects wheel are as follows: baby diapers, manure, vomit, bad salami, and pig farm waste pond. You can't get much more disgusting than that. The trouble is that on the market there are oils that are maybe not as bad as that, but there are oils out there that were very bad but have been deodorized using chemicals, using steam and high temperatures. In refineries, if you ever visit an oil refinery, it's almost like going to a petroleum refinery. It's that disgusting and industrial. So that's that. What else can I tell you? All sorts of other things. One thing you must never do with an olive oil is think that you can judge it by smelling the top of the bottle. There's a thin film of olive oil here which can become rancid, oxidized. And in the case of this thing, and this rather stupid but pretty pora, this smells seriously rancid. This is something we want to avoid. So I want to go back to talk about this blue cup. I've just been in Japan where I was judging olive oils in a competition called Olive Japan. There were olive oils from all over the world. And the whole thing was organised by the Japanese Olive Oil Sommelier Association. It sounds weird, but there is an association, and there are various different associations in the world where they're called olive oil sommelier. And the job is pretty much like tasting wine.